Hey guys, how we doing? And welcome to Beginner Bass Lessons with Sean. So the idea of this series is just to give particularly beginner bass players just a really good solid starting point in which to begin playing the instrument, right? So the idea is there's going to be an episode sort of 3-4 times a week. It's going to be relatively short. And we're only going to focus on one thing kind of per lesson to sort of practice on. So today I wanted to talk about the cycle of fourths. The reason being is that in Western music we've got 12 keys, okay? And with 12, when we learn something new, say a new triad, you know, a new riff, we kind of want to be able to move it around the neck and play it in all 12 keys. And this is kind of where the cycle of fourths comes in. So the cycle of fourths, it basically cycles round all 12 keys within the musical scale. So today we're literally going to look at what it is, how to play it on the neck, on the bass, and then there's a few little exercises that will be over on Patreon if you want to continue your study. So firstly, let's just look at what notes or how we're going to play the cycle of fourths on the bass. So we're first going to start on our C, I should say, which is 8th fret E string. We're then going to move to the 8th fret on the A string, which is our F. We're then going to move to our A sharp, which is our 6th fret on the E string. We're then going to go to D sharp, which is our 6th fret on the A string. Then we go to G sharp, I should say, which is our 4th fret on the E string. And then C sharp, 4th fret A string. We're then going to come all the way up to our 9th fret on the A string, which is our F sharp. Then we're going to go to our 7th fret E string, which is our B. 7th fret on the A string, which is our E. 5th fret E string, which is our A. Get my words mixed up. And then we're going to the 5th fret on the A string, which is our D. And then finally, we're going to come down to our 10th fret on the A string, which is our G. Okay, so all together, we've kind of got and listen to that sort of resolution. So here we're playing the G, which is our last note, 10th fret of the A string, which is the 5th of the C, right? So you've got that nice complete resolution. So firstly, we are just going to start, I'm going to put the metronome on and we're going to run through the cycle of fourths, okay? And again, the tabs for this will be on Patreon if you guys want them. So let me put the metronome on. Here we go. And the resolution back to C. Okay, cool. So I suggest firstly, just getting that onto your fingers, getting used to where the notes are before we start playing it with a metronome. Okay? But once we've kind of got to that point, we can then start sort of practicing in other ways. So we've gone ascending, right? We've gone C, F, A sharp, D. But now what about if we went backwards? So we start from the G. Yeah, so. So again, we could go backwards. And there's kind of one final exercise I wanted to leave you guys with, which will be on Patreon. So we mentioned earlier that we have this at the end. So we've got the 10th, the G, which is our 10th fret on the A string, and it's the 5th of C, right? So it resolves nicely. Dun, dun. Okay. So we're actually now, once you've kind of got that kind of pattern under your fingers and you're quite happy, we're going to start incorporating fifths. Okay, so if you don't know what a fifth is, so we have a scale, C major for example, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, 8 notes in a scale if you include the octave. And the fifth is simply the 5th note in the scale. So C is 1, or the root or the tonic. Then we've got D, which is our 2nd, E, which is our 3rd, F, which is our 4th, and G, which is our 5th. So we have that pattern, right? Boom, da, So now we've got this pattern, we're going to move it around the cycle of fourths. So firstly, just practice getting it under your fingers. And again, the tab for this will be on Patreon. So and again, you hear that resolution. So I'll play it one more time. Okay. And again, it's just, that's as far as we're going to go today. It's just about getting this stuff under your fingers. So remember, learning, when we learn, it's not just getting information. It's doing something so you can, until you can't forget it, right? So, and this is what we're going to be trying to achieve every lesson, is practicing a small concept, practicing it over and over again until it's part of our muscle memory, right? You know, we're quite lucky as bass players that it's quite a patternistic instrument. Not that we should think of it that way, but it is, you know. So if we play a root and 5th like this, it's exactly the same pattern wherever we play it on the neck, right? The pattern and where you put your fingers is in the same place. So again, we've got the C, we move up 2 frets and across 1 string to the A, which gives us our 5th. Okay, so but that, we're going to leave that there for today, guys. The purpose of these lessons is they're supposed to be quite short, and that we will just be focusing on kind of one concept every sort of video. We can practice, really get it under our fingers, and then come back and sort of expand on it just a little bit more, okay? But thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you at next video. Take care.